Alright, so here's this piece all cleaned up. Got the valve body, you know, the little valleys and stuff all cleaned up. I spent a lot of time with the little screwdriver and a bunch of towels cleaning everything up, making sure there's no dirt in here. And so we'll have a clean rebuild. So basically, since I'm limited on space, I'm going to start the rebuild process starting with this, and this being as my base, and I have to clean all the other parts one by one, and you know, just really let my OCD just kick in, because this is all the working space I have. So you know, just piece by piece and just one step at a time with this. And if I had more room, it would be better, but I mean, you know, you just gotta work with what you got. And so next I'll be cleaning all these valve bodies up, making sure everything's functioning properly, and yeah, we'll go get onto rebuilding. Alright, and for this piece, you know, you gotta make sure you clean all these little ports and everything that go into the valve bodies. Check to make sure any damage, check the bearings, see any scoring on them, and you know, making sure everything's functioning, no damage to be seen, you know. And you got some bearings that ride on here, but so far it's looking good. Got to replace the seals, the rubber seals for the shafts. Now, one thing I just barely found out yesterday is that the rebuild kit actually has a full part diagram for everything, so it's actually going to be easier than I thought it would be, to be honest. And so this will really help me out if I have any problems. And this is the rebuild kit using that my dad had bought, and we'll see if it has everything we need. Alright, going to be putting the plate on. Now for all these parts, just so you guys know, I will be wiping with transmission oil, just so they have a light coating of transmission oil, you know, keeping everything lubricated and keeping away from corrosion as I, you know, just assemble this, just to keep that in mind. And maybe just a little bit of grease on the edges on the new seals, so everything slides in pretty smoothly. You know, everything has a good start. And but yeah, just so you guys know, just keep everything clean, keep things lubricated, you know, bearing stuff, whatever you can, wipe it down with the rag of transmission oil, and try not to lose all the little parts. So here we have a valve body here. I took out all the valves. Now I did watch another video by his username is Automatic Transmission. His name is Hiram, and he was showing how he was going with the valves with the Bench Buddy Superior brushes. And these are for like polishing and honing for the valves. The valves all go right here. They're all in order how I have them here. And to get them out is really a pain. I didn't see a video of anyone showing how to get them out, and I see why. It's because they take a long time. Now I probably spent a good hour and a half, 2 hours just getting these valves out, and I was using these tools here, flathead, and all these picks that I have right here. And you know, I tried to do a lot of research on how to get them out before I did this, and there's really not much information until after the fact I got them out. I saw a website which all the information comes when you don't need it or after the fact, but a website was saying not to use picks with the sharp end like these, a pointed end, because you could leave scratch marks inside where the valve's going, and you don't want to do any of that. So if you guys are watching this, try to get the blunt edge picks so you don't ruin any of that. And how I have all the valves, and there's 2 valves on this side, and this one counts as well. It has a different type of little clip that goes in there, and these would be sticking out, and you just grab them with a screwdriver. So basically what you want to do with the valve body is, obviously it has the ports for the valves, and this one I believe is like the connects to the gear selector. But so you're going to use these brushes, put them on like a drill, go in there, you know, go in and out, polishing up the bores. And the way you want them to be is, let's say I had this valve and I drop it in there, you want the valve to just drop all the way straight down with no effort, you know. So you want to obviously put it on here. Let me see if I can do this one. So basically, if I get this valve, this part goes on the end of it, but we'll just leave that for now. This is just for example. If you were to drop the valve in, and like let's say from right here, it should just slide all the way down and hit the bottom without any effort, without you helping it. Whoops, almost dropped it. Hold on. This one isn't going in. There it goes. See, it kind of needed a little effort. I'm pretty sure with the polishing, it'll smooth it up and just allow it to drop all the way in. But that's how you want all your valves to be moving. And this is a big part of the transmission, because that's what changes the gears and everything. So if you have a gear not wanting to switch, you most likely have like a stuck valve or something wrong with the valve. So you want to make sure they all move pretty freely. You want to do more than just the regular little screwdriver check to see if the spring moves them. And if the spring moves them, that's good. If it's not moving, then that's probably where your shifting problem is coming from, or if they're a little sluggish, you know. And so far I've tried, you know, about all of them here, and I have about 3 that don't fall on their own, but I'm still going to polish all of them up and make sure everything gets taken care of. Now after you go with the brushes, you want to make sure to clean up the bore. And then what Hiram was using was WD-40. He was saying it's a great cleaner as well as lubricant for the transmission. Now what you want to do with the WD-40 after you clean it is spray it in the bore and spray the valve a little bit, just so it's all lubed up, and go ahead and test try the valve and see if it falls to the bottom. And that's what you would use it for. You could as well use automatic transmission fluid, but after I check them all, I'm going to clean it up before I throw it onto the transmission. So we'll get started on that. Yeah, almost straight. Yeah. Alright, here's the valve body all put together. Everything is moving freely, and all the bores have been polished. And to get them out, you get like a screwdriver or a pick, get out that pin, and you gotta get them out as best as you can. Don't use those picks I was using. Try to use some rounded off picks so they don't scar the bore or scratch anything up. Just in case you guys are unsure how the valves go together, there's that right there. Time to throw it back together. out the battery had died. So here I am, the valve body. It's a little frustrating at first getting used to everything and getting the valves out. You know, mine were just, I don't know, just like stuck. But I'm pretty sure you get used to it. But everything is in here. Everything is being cleaned. Nothing is being left out. Now for the first and second accumulator over here, there's two check balls in here. When you take this off, place the seals on there, put all the springs back in, just putting everything in and staying organized so nothing gets confused. Here's the shift lever, and got all of the little guide pins. This other pin is on the actual valve body. Everything being put together, just making sure everything's in good condition, looking at everything, all the valves going in correctly, all the valves moving freely, and you know, just checking them, polishing them up. Also here on this what do they call this, torque converter check valve, I also polished that area where it slides in and out, so make sure that's working properly. Changed out the filter on there as well. And this filter, when you put it in, it's going to look like it's the wrong way, but let me see, I actually have one here. So here's the old filter. So that one there is going to go up into it like that. So you're going to be looking at the back end of it. And all the 10mm bolts are going to be at 8.7 foot-pounds. And all the pump here, the 12mm are going to be at 13 pounds. Like I said, all of the 10mm at 8.7 pounds. Alright, over here got the third and fourth accumulator and the servo valve here. Brand new O-rings on it. They just go in there like that. And this other one just slides in as well. This is ready to be put in. Also took out the valves on this one as well and polished them up. Polished all the bores where the valves go in. You see the valves here. Took all those out and polished them up, and they just slid right in. I'm going to throw this onto here, and the valves, making sure they're working properly, sliding in and out real easy. One's real good. And on these, when the valves are hitting up against the plug, you gotta make a line in there, a groove in there, to make sure they seal up real good, because pressure's going in there and needs to push on the valve, so you don't want to lose any of that pressure. And so you gotta make a groove in that end cap. It's going to be a little hard going in, but that's the end cap sealing it, so you make sure you don't lose any pressure and you get good shifts. Right here, let's say this is the end cap. On this part that's going to be pushing up on the valve, you need to make a groove into the end cap there. Making that groove makes the side bulge a little bit on the side of the groove, and so it kind of sticks out a little bit more. You're not going to really put a deep groove in it, but just enough. You're going to just try a little bit at a time, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you make it too big or too deep, the end cap won't go in. So when you put those on, you probably need a little tap of a hammer to push them in, and then you just got to go ahead and lock them in with the pins. Alright, so I had forgotten the stator shaft, and so I had to take the regulator valve body back off so I could show you guys about the check valve, what I was talking about. I polished this bore here where the check valve goes in, and you want to make sure it moves freely so there's no problems not getting caught up. And there's a check ball on here, and it has a spring on here. And so I'm going to put the stator shaft, make sure it goes in straight, and then going to get that metal bar, and it just goes right there. I also changed out the stator shaft O-ring, and I'm going to put this right back on. One of the feed pipes was stuck in the transmission still. 3 here, and then you got the small one. Comparison from the new filter. You can see light coming through it, and here's the old filter. You can't see nothing through that.